Powers of Pain, the Barbarian, and the Warlord were at LCW. So there were plenty of favorites for streamers to be thrown. So lots and lots of streamers cleaned up all throughout the night, it felt like. But again, really, really cool moment for us to be able to ring attend, something we've never done before. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, we'll talk about the matches, everything. I'm not going to get into the full detail about it because I don't think there's, at least from his standpoint, I was in contact with him earlier today just to see how he was doing. The Red Scorpion, who, again, we had on the show this past Thursday, if you want to take the time and go back, a spectacular interview with the Red Scorpion. Unfortunately, he suffered a knee injury last night. He said he told me a possible tear of patellar tendon.
Oh, no.
We were watching the match. There was a spot where he looked like he might have been favoring it. He was in a tag team match, him and his partner Grey Wolf, the Bloodbound Warriors. He was on the ring apron and just really looked uncomfortable. And then actually collapsed on the, he tried to put any weight on it and he just fell. And, so really an unfortunate thing for a guy that, had a minor knee injury, had a surgery to take care of it. He came back. He had regained the LCW Heavyweight Championship that like we had said on Thursday night, he never officially lost. But now, nothing official, but it doesn't, the prognosis does not sound good for our buddy the Red Scorpion, so we certainly wish him the best in his recovery from the knee injury he suffered last night.
Yeah, Red Scorpion, we from the 3 Count Thursday guys to you, we do hope you get well soon and hope to see you back in the ring as soon as possible.
He seems to be in high spirits regardless. I mean, the guy's always just a positive person. I saw his Facebook thing saying, he has 1 injured leg, but he still has 7 more in a stinger. If he needs to be called into action. So it's good to see that this hasn't really, an injury like this could always just make someone lose it, and he hasn't seemed to yet. So it's good that he's still staying so positive.
Yeah, certainly. And I know, from my standpoint, I held the curtain as the medics were helping him back through last night, and he looked at me and said, it's not good. I have bad luck, something along those lines. But what amazed me is, he's got to be in pain. He's certainly concerned about what just happened to him. But he stayed there the whole rest of the show because that was the first match out of intermission, and he was over with his tag team partner post-match, post-loss, and he signed autographs and took pictures for the rest of the night. Did not receive full medical attention until the show was over. So I mean, it shows you how much he cares about the wrestling industry and about his fans. Just a genuinely awesome guy. And like I said, again, we hope that he has a speedy recovery and is back in the ring entertaining us very, very soon. Let's look at Friday night, guys. There was 3 fatal 4-way elimination tag team matches to determine the team that entered the final spot in Saturday's Keystone Cup tournament. A local team, the Party Animals, Tony Mask and the Party Animal, took on the Cash Masters, Motley 2, and the Disciples. In the opening match Friday night, they came out on top. I thought this match was very good. I got the crowd into it. Tony Mask and the Party Animal, they bring a lot of energy to the arena, and they came out with the win, and the crowd was into it right away.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. Team that was kind of put together, I think, relatively just this year, I believe. Kind of surprised everybody coming out of that match to pick up the win, to move to then the following qualifier match of the night. Jim, it was just a fun match. It really is. Again, I don't think we're going to break down everything about the match. We definitely could. I think that was the match with the Cash Masters in it as well.
Yes.
It was their gimmick. They shoot cash out of these little cash guns that, again, much like confetti and streamers, need to be cleaned up from ringside, that we had the fun job of picking up hundreds of these dollar bills that are laying at ringside after they shot them up in the air. So, again, that's another really, really good team to keep ahead of. I think they're a fantastic team as well. So coming out of this match, Tony Mask party animals. They take the victory. They go on to then the second qualifying match of the night.
You would think it would be easy to pick up little dollar bills off of a carpeted floor, but it's not. Those little bastards stick to the carpet like Velcro when you're trying to do it quickly.
So many of them.
So many of them. But yeah, we're not going to go over every single match that was on the card or anything like that. We did get to see Patrick Clarke from Tough Enough. He and his tag team partner Leo Rush, Sudden Impact, had made their LCW debut back in April. This was the first singles match we've ever seen Tough Enough Patrick Clarke, as he was known. And I thought it was spectacular. Him and BJ Walker put on a very, very strong match. You can tell that he's got the it factor, if you will. I mean, all of his moves were very crisp. I think obviously the training that he had, even in the short time that he was on Tough Enough, he can tell the lessons he's taken from there. We've seen Justin Gabriel at Legacy Wrestling a couple months ago. Just when guys have been to a higher level of professional wrestling, you can see it in the way that they work their moves, in the way they, just the general way they are in the ring, and even in the short time Patrick took away from Tough Enough, I think we saw some of that.
I mean, even down to it's an independent show, and they had a small hard camera set up, playing the hard camera, playing the crowd up. Really good sell. The guy, he does, like you said, Jim, whatever it is, Patrick Clarke possesses it.
Yeah, his career is going to take off really soon. So, I mean, he's going to be at a few indie shows coming up. If you get the chance to see him now before, you have to pay a lot more to go see him because, I mean, he's basically putting on a show for pennies on the dollar at this point, and it's a fantastic show that he puts on.
Right, do it now.
Yeah, and you get, at these indie shows, if you've never been to one, and we have said many times on this show that we were, we missed the bus multiple times on the independent scene, and we're making up for lost time.
Better late than never.
Yeah, better late than never. So if you've never been to any independent show, wherever you live, get to these shows because the beauty of them is you have so much access to the superstars, or at least at LCW and Legacy, the shows that we've been to. The wrestlers take time and they sit around and they sell their merchandise and pictures and talk to you. And as a wrestling fan, you don't get that from the WWE unless you're spending a lot of money to get these VIP meet and greets or like WrestleMania, the Access Week. You don't get that access to the superstars, and to talk to somebody like Patrick was I think really a fun addition to this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, we were excited to talk to him when he was a guest on the show a few weeks back. And Jim, you're right. I think back. I mean, we caught a TNA house show. This was a few years ago, where after the thing, you could kind of gather around the ring, and it wasn't a very well attended house show. That a few stars came out from the back, and then signed a few autographs. I think Saban was one of them. That's just kind of the time frame of when we were there. I believe Rhino was still in the TNA roster back when we saw the house show. So definitely a few years back that we saw it. But they came out, signed a few things, and then at their merchandise tent they had like a superstar come out and sign a few autographs. I think it was Jeff Jarrett, and there was a knockout.
Velvet Sky.
That's who it was. Also they're signing autographs. So other promotions do try to make it, possible for you. The WWE is obviously what the WWE is. You're not going to get that access, but you're not going to get anything. You're not going to get more access than you're going to get at an indie show. So check it out. The Central Pennsylvania is just loaded with them. We have a new one coming up here. I don't know, Jim, if you even caught any of that. Wrestling Empire, I believe, out of the New Cumberland area.
Yes. That'll be debuting in November, I think.
Yeah, beginning of November, but I think tickets go on sale for that like tomorrow.
Okay.
Oh, good timing.
So we'll try and get something up about that. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
Central
Pro Wrestling
PA,
Empire. You can check it out real quick. Facebook.com/Pro Wrestling Empire PA. That is Facebook.com/Pro Wrestling Empire PA.
Yeah, I think we're very fortunate here in Central Pennsylvania. I don't know what the independent scene is wherever you're listening to this. I don't, but in Central PA we have tons of independent wrestling promotions, and we have so many even within a couple hours drive. I mean, Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey. I mean, Ring of Honor is based just only a couple hours away from us, and we get big shows that come to Philly and New York, and within anywhere between 2 to 4 hours, we can see some of the best, not only WWE action, but there's independent wrestling action that can be somewhat hidden, but they're putting on matches that are better in some cases than things that we see on a weekly basis on WWE TV.
Absolutely right. If not, I'm not going to say every single match is
no
an oh my god match, but you definitely have stars that will be doing moves that you don't see in the WWE. I just even the Friday night show it was the Leo Rush match was phenomenal. It was Leo Rush against
International Swerve.
Shane Strickland. Right, if you haven't seen Shane Strickland, you're a fool.
His kill shot
out of Lucha Underground. He wrestles for CZW. The guy's just a phenomenal athlete. I said it to people. He might be the best wrestler on the East Coast right now. The guy is just fantastic. I love everything that he does. Haven't seen a bad match with him in it. So shout out to Shane Strickland. But yeah, it was just the matches aren't WWE style matches either. Not all of them are. Like, WWE has their own style. They like what it does, and every match kind of follows that style of wrestling. On an indie show, you're going to get multiple styles of wrestling. These hybrid styles, you're going to see a strong style match. And there's tons of stuff you're going to see at an indie show, whereas WWE is just WWE.
Well, I think that WWE is beginning to change. I think because of NXT, because they're getting an influx of these big names in the independent scene. We've seen since Neville has come in, and even Rollins and Ambrose.
Okay, no, Neville's a good exception.
But now, especially with Finn Balor and with Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, obviously Zayn out injured, Hideo Itami out injured, but with those guys coming in, and especially now too with when Owens is up on the main roster, and we've seen the great matches that he's been involved in, and we've seen Neville work spectacular matches. I mean, look at the Neville Rollins match from a couple weeks ago on Raw. I mean, that's a type of match that you would have not seen on Raw even a year ago or 2 years ago.
You got a good point.
I mean, the WWE, I don't think, is necessarily just where a big man's game, a big man's company anymore. For the better. And because we've talked about it, that they're not afraid to, and honestly they can't be with social media and YouTube and all that, to mention that these guys were on the indies, that they were a part of the independent scene. We know it's out there. You can't hide it anymore. The WWE even embracing it. Paige talking about it on Austin's podcast. Mentioning all the places that Finn Balor's been, and that's, I think, a big thing. I know we were concerned about a year ago with the network and NXT's popularity growing and growing and growing. We were concerned about independent wrestling. And I think even when we had the product David Starr on a couple months ago, said, are you concerned? And I think he even said it, and we've kind of maybe seen it, that there's kind of a groundswell with independent wrestling because of NXT, because they're like, where can I see more action like this? Maybe 10 minutes up the road at this show, that at the auditorium down the street from me, or 30 minutes away, and tickets are only $10, tickets are only $12. I think I'll check it out. Let's look at some of the other fatal four-way, the second fatal four-way match from